Good morning and welcome to another edition of Say It to Mercy TV. Say It to Mercy TV comes up Mondays to Fridays at 11 in the morning, and we do have a repeat 9 p.m. Today with me I have the founder of Abounding Grace Foundation. Abounding Grace Foundation is a non-profit organization that is operating all over the world. You get to know more about Abounding Grace Foundation very shortly. But before you know more, let's go for the short break. Okay. Okay, so welcome back. I told you we have with us the founder of Abounding Grace Foundation, and he is Evangelist Christian Chukwuka. Evangelist, say hi to people.
Hi everyone, nice being here.
I would like to say first of all, welcome to Sierra Leone. It's nice having you in Sierra Leone. Abounding Grace Foundation, what's that about?
Abounding Grace Foundation is an outreach foundation organization that are reaching out to prisons all over the world, and it was founded from what I went through as a prisoner. That's how the organization was founded. Based on the things I went through in the prison, I developed a passion to help prisoners all over the world.
Abounding Grace Foundation has its foundation on his own life story. Can you help us, Evangelist? What's your life story?
Oh, my life story is actually, it's a very long one, but I'm going to try to make it as brief as possible. I was born and raised in a very poor family in Nigeria, in Aba to be precise, eastern region of Nigeria, and then southeastern region of Nigeria. And then my parents had no money to send me to school. I was actually a helpless child, very stubborn, very unruly. So my parents were like more of like, how can we send this one away to stop disturbing the family? Because I was more of like a pain in the family. No education, just only primary 6 education. Then they sent me for slavery in Cameroon. I went to Cameroon to go and serve my master. Stubbornness and all the things that went through there couldn't allow me to stay too long. I stayed there for some years. I ran away from that place and then got back to Nigeria. They sent me to another slavery again in Maiduguri. History repeats itself. I ran away again because of the stubbornness and the trauma of what I went through for not going to school, not having a sense of knowledge. Got to my house. I said to my mom and my dad, you have to find money to help me to go and start a new life. My father and my mother, they sold everything they had, raised little money, and they gave me that little money. I used it to travel to Lagos. From the southeast, I went to Lagos to go and start up something. When on getting to Lagos, I found out that life is not that so easy. The little 10,000 naira that my mom gave me by then, I paid a quarter shop for 9,600 naira. Left only 400 naira. That's nothing, absolutely nothing. So I used that shop empty like that, running around, taking goods from people, selling, making small profit as God may have it. I got help from God and then make some money under 6 months. That's how I start to do proper business, buying things and selling. Then after a while, greed came upon me because I wanted to have more. The greed came upon me. That's how I began to join the boys that are traveling to South Africa, Senegal, Gambia, etc. So I joined international business, stays in Gambia. After a while, I found out that I'm not doing well. My money was diminishing completely. So instead of going back to Nigeria, the shame couldn't let me go back to Nigeria. I decided to stay back in Gambia. My money was about to finish, and then I approached the immigration officers in Gambia. Say, please, can you help me to get a Gambia passport? I need to travel to Europe. And by then, the Gambia passport was like a free visa to 6 countries. Scandinavia country, all the 5 Scandinavia, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Finland, Iceland, they're all free visa. Then United Kingdom is also free visa with Gambia passport then. So I decided to buy a ticket, get that passport. They asked me I should pay $1,500 to get that passport. So I paid the money, got that. Then the remaining money in my hand is just for BT and then buying my ticket. That's how I travel out of the place. In getting to UK, they refused me entry, so I entered Sweden. On getting to Sweden, I started to run around how to travel to Denmark and Germany. I couldn't enter Germany because my passport is not allowed to enter Germany. It was not among the Scandinavian countries where I have a free visa and the UK. So in Bundesrepublik, you must have a visa to enter there with the Gambia passport. So they deport me back from that Germany back to Denmark. On getting to Denmark, I found out that this life is so difficult there. I tried several times to enter Germany. 3 times, they couldn't allow me in. I have to go back to Sweden. On getting to Sweden, I have to go into refugee camp. Of course, I'm going to lie that my father is dead, my mother dead, everybody dead, just because I want to get a residence permit in Sweden. The police look at me, they know that I'm lying. They just look at me and said, okay, we heard you. They put me in a refugee camp. I was in that refugee camp for some months. I found out that the paper is not coming forth, that they are not even taking care of my case because I lied that I'm from Sudan. I blow the lie that I'm from Sudan. I don't want to tell them I'm from Nigeria because they would definitely deport me immediately if I say I'm from Nigeria. So when I told them about Sudan, they look at me, you don't look like Sudan. They look at me, tell me that you're an Igbo man, you're a Nigerian. That's what the police told me. So they obviously know I'm from Nigeria. That was very embarrassing. And I almost laughed because I didn't know that they know me that much. I thought they would believe that I'm from Sudan, but it wasn't the case. So they put me in the camp, forgot me there. After some months, I felt like, no, I have to go and look for something else to do. That's how I ran away there, looking for someone to help me to get a paper in Sweden. Unfortunately, I have to marry out of falsehood. Get somebody, get married and all that. And then in getting to Nigeria, after the contract marriage that we did in Nigeria, which wasn't really right, but I didn't care about what is right or wrong because I was in the world. Then got my papers, went back to Sweden after 3 years and 3 years, 4 months. I got my Swedish passport. That's how I move on and then enter into drug business.
Before you it's really awesome. Your story is powerful. Let's go back to the slavery thing. It touched me. Yes. Twice.
Yes, sir.
You were sent into slavery.
Yes, sir.
How was it like?
It wasn't funny because you don't have life of your own. You do exactly what your master asks you to do. You stay in the shop selling things. You sleep in the shop there. There's no you don't have like a home where you sleep except inside the shop. And what we are selling is motor spare parts in Cameroon. So inside that shop where we sleep in, it wasn't conducive at all. You put a mat on the floor, that's where you sleep year after year. So it wasn't really okay. And of course, any slightest mistake, your master will beat you up. So it was what I was going through. So after a while, I couldn't take it. I have to run away.
Wow. If you're watching this, I have with me the founder of Abounding Grace Foundation, Christian Chukwuka, Evangelist Christian Chukwuka, and he don't talk to you concerning, your own lifestyle. We push them towards having this foundation where they help, prisoners them all over the world. And he can't tell me much more about the foundation, but presently he talk to me but in life, waiting give him the passion, and he don't explain to me how he go through, from being a slave to traveling to, Sweden, Denmark. He try for go Germany a lot of the time, and not happen. He get for go in a refugee camp in Sweden, and he been married for paper, and at the end of the day, he come back to Nigeria and go back and get in paper. It's awesome. A lot of people would like to know what happened next. You stopped at entering into drugs.
Yes, sir.
What happened next?
Okay, I was doing that drug business. So many lives were being destroyed unknowingly because, I had only primary 6 education. As an illiterate, I don't even know the implication of criminality, the drugs, the consequences of crime and the effects in families that are being ruined. I have no clue. So I was doing it because I have love of money. And I was thinking that crime pays, not knowing that crime does not pay. That no matter plus and minus, you're going to end up in jail. And you're going to lose everything that you made in drug. Even if you don't lose it physically, spiritually, somehow we will get back to you. I did not have this knowledge because I did not go to school. And I did not even know that drug business is a very destructive thing. I never knew that the substance can destroy people's life. So unaware, was what dragged me. Inexperience was what put me into that rubbish called drug business. So while I was doing it, many girls died, many men died in the process. Sometimes people will carry cocaine for you in the stomach, and if the flight is cancelled, they have almost a kilo cocaine in their stomach and it burst. That's how we lost so many lives in Nigeria. And some of my friends that we're doing it together, we destroy actually so many lives. And then we import also from South America to Europe, and it destroys so many lives while we're doing it. Some people go to jail because of my ego, because of selfish lifestyle, because of love of money. So before I realized that I was making mistake, it was already too late. I heard the voice of the Lord one time tell me, I was in Sweden. He said to me, I was driving, I heard that voice loud in my car. He said, my son, get away from what you are doing or you will be destroyed. I did not understand. I don't even know when Holy Spirit is speaking. So I don't have a clue who was talking to me. All I know is that I look around. There's nobody in my car, but I'm hearing a voice speaking to me. 1 month and 3 weeks after hearing that voice, I was arrested with 1.5 kilo cocaine in Sweden. Wow. That's how they sent me. They stand on 15 years in jail. And then after 8 years, I got my pardon. But going to that prison wasn't funny at all. When they got me arrested, I was thinking that I was a big boy. I was Al Capone, Tony Montana, Marlon Brando, Al Pacino. I was really thinking that I'm something when I was nobody. On the day they arrested me, put my hands together, threw me behind the vehicle, all my strength diminishes. I cried out. Looking unto who will help me, nobody is there. The girlfriends, the drug partners, every one of them were disappeared and gone. I'm now alone with my punishment. So it wasn't a very good experience at all. In that very punishment, in that journey, I began to move. How can I serve 15 years inside the prison? That was the question. Every time I go to the wall, marking a day, you mark a day, you mark a day, before you know it, 1 week take like 1 year to finish. Because you are trying to calculate your days. Before 1 year go by, it was like 100 years or something. So I became like an animal inside the prison. Start misbehaving. Psychologically, I was totally broken. I began to act brutally. Every small thing I'm fighting, while I was inside that prison. On getting to the 8 years, I hear that voice of the Lord say to me, my son, I can still help you. Wow. That is how one day I was sitting down and was lying, because in our in prison in Sweden, you have your television, you have your laptop. It's not like African prison actually. I was watching my pornography movie. On that, there's something that happened on that television. My hand reacted. It was actually a very terrible thing. My hand reacted, so it hit the remote control. That's how we changed to a channel called God's Channel. And who was on that channel? Creflo Dollar Jr. Wow. It was like, renew your mind or you will die. Renew your mind. Don't touch that dial. It was like he's talking to me directly. I got goosebumps all over me. My room was filled with smoke. That was my first encounter with the Holy Spirit. I never knew about glory of God, but inside that cell, I encountered physical glory of God. I was shivering, I was shaking, my mouth was shaking. That was when I knew what is speaking in tongue. I never knew what it is. My mouth was like wagging unstoppable. I don't know what was happening. For 3 days, I was arrested completely myself. I don't want to eat. I don't want to do anything. Right inside that prison, angel of God was surrounding me. And I began to hear voice. That's when I started studying my Bible. Just few days after that very encounter, it became like the time they came and knocked at my door. Said to me, Christian, that they've pardoned you, that you have to go. Wow. I still have so many years to serve. And they pull up my passport. They say, you have your Swedish passport, you have your Nigerian passport, that you can take it back. I'm supposed to be deported, right? The court has already finished my sentence. That after my serving the sentence, they will send me back home. They gave me back my European passport, gave me back my Nigerian passport, so you can go. I was filled with doubt. I couldn't believe what happened. I thought maybe they want to assassinate me. To leave the prison, I was a little bit afraid. In that very sequence, I said to myself, let me take my chances. I collected the passport and then I moved. As I was going, I was watching my back. All of a sudden, here I am with the taxi. I entered taxi. That's when I knew that I was free. And I began to call my friends. Every single one of them that I called, the wife, we said that the husband died 7 years ago. Wow. The husband died 6 years ago, 5 years ago. All my 7 best friends in the drug world, they are all in the grave. And I wept with a loud voice. I cried. I said, God, because I was thinking of who will help me now, who will give me money, because I've lost everything that I had, all the drug money, the house, whatever I owned, they've taken it away from me. So I came out from prison wretched and poorest man on earth. But when I called these guys, I was hoping that they will help me to give me money to start business again. All of them were dead. And I said, God, what? So I cried. And I hear the voice again. My son, I purposely take their life away in order to use you. That's when it dawned in me that I have a peculiar calling. I have a message that I need to spread all over the world. And that message is ABC gospel, that I was once blind, now I can see. Who made me to see? I point everybody to Jesus Christ. He's the one that came to prison and rescued me. I didn't know my left and right. I was a bad boy. So many lives destroyed. So many women, cocaine burst in their stomach and they died at the airport. Some of them died in their homes because they are trying to push drugs for my sake. I was a murderer, a brutal criminal. I don't have sense of belonging, no love in me. I don't know what, all I want is just the money. But Jesus Christ said to me, even though you are such a bad person, I still love you. You are a proper child.
So two things I noticed from the discussion. One, had it not been for you going to prison,
I would have been a dead man.
Yes.
A dead man by now.
Two, had you not mistakenly touched the remote, you would have come out of the prison,
yes, sir,
the same way you entered the prison.
Yes, sir.
And you would have gone back to
the crime.
To
the crime.
But God saved you.
Yes, sir.
First of all, you had to go to prison.
Yes, sir. To encounter Jesus.
Yes, and
sir,
avoid death. And then before you came out, he already knew you were going to come out.
Yes,
you
sir.
didn't know.
I didn't know.
But God had the foreknowledge. You didn't. And he had to transform your life.
Yes, sir.
Before you came out.
Yes.
You came out, and now there is Abundant Grace Foundation.
Yes,
so let's really dive into Abundant Grace
Hallelujah.
Foundation. Talk some more about Abundant Grace Foundation.
Okay,
Abounding
Grace Foundation. When I came out from that prison, I actually felt like there is no life since all the boys that will help me with money are gone. So what else then? Do I go back to crime? I was crying. I hear that voice again that he will help me. He will be with me. He purposely destroyed those lives in order to use me. So I said, okay, my tears dried up when I heard the voice, because the voice is consoling. It was assuring. There was a certainty in the voice I was hearing. I said, okay, now I'm going to take a radical step. I will abandon Sweden, the best country in the world, and then I will move to a country that nobody knows me. Because of the peer pressure in Sweden, some of the friends that know me as a drug dealer, as a bad boy that drive good cars and carry beautiful girls, they won't understand that I'm a transformed person now. They won't understand what's going on. So I had to leave Sweden and move to England. On getting to London, there is no way I can get a job with the criminal record. If they put my fingerprint anywhere, bling bling, and they will show 8 years in prison. Anywhere, 8 years in prison. So there's no way. So I say, God, what do I do? He say, start something, create something on your own. That's how I became a taxi driver in London. While I was driving that taxi, I go about ministering, talking to people, doing evangelism, progressing and just moving and propagating that gospel that I pick up from prison. Telling people my testimony, because he says in Revelation 12:10 and 11, he said that we overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimonies. We love not our life unto death. So I act like a person who doesn't love his life, and I began to share my testimony everywhere. In so doing, that's how God gave me this ministry. I got married in London, have another 5 children plus the 2 sons I have in Sweden. So I had basically 7 children from 3 different women. So how messed up can one be? I was a total messed up person, but God picked me up as an unqualified. He shook off the debts in me and qualified me and sat my feet and stood me on a rock. His own personal name. I stood on that name. That's how this foundation was given birth to. He said to me, I'm going to send you back to Africa. And you will visit all the prisons in Africa, in Jamaica, in West India, every part of the world, speaking exactly the word I will put in you, because I'm not qualified. What will I tell you about Genesis to Revelation? Nothing, except that Christ found me in prison, picked me up, sanctified me, cleansed me, and sent me to the youth all over the world. Today, this foundation you see in here, Abounding Grace Foundation, we have visited 226 prisons in Africa. In South Africa, in Ghana, in UK, in this Sierra Leone. We are coming here now. We are here in Sierra Leone. 2 days ago I came to Sierra Leone. What is my mission here? I'm here to visit all the prisons in Sierra Leone. The government has given me the permission already, access to the prisons in Sierra Leone. When they saw my testimony, heard about what we are doing in other prisons, they asked me, you are welcome to Sierra Leone. I just came in here with the help of my friend Dennis Clarkson, and that's what we came here to do, to make sure that Abounding Grace Foundation touch lives on the street, in the schools in Sierra Leone, and in the prisons.
Let's talk about the name Abounding Grace. You could have chosen any name.
Any name.
Any name. But why Abounding Grace?
That is a very, very, I mean, it's a story that is so touching. You know, me and my wife, we sat down one day, we were discussing. That time it wasn't my wife, we were just co-partners in the vineyard. We were talking about names. We wrote down several names and sent to the CAC in Nigeria for registration. They said all of them, none of them is available.
Wow.
So I went to bed and I prayed. I said, God, give me a name. I was sleeping that same night. It wasn't up to 24 hours. That same night, I heard the voice, Abounding Grace. I woke up. I write it down. Then the next day, I put that name, send it to Abuja again. They checked the name, it was available. That's how this name comes. And the grace indeed abounds since that time.
Wow. Fambo, you don't hear I get with me, Evangelist Christian Chukwuka, the founder of Abounding Grace Foundation. This is now one organization where they help out with prison. They go to prison and share in personal testimony to inmate them, and also help them in different ways. And where we go come here more. And I want to let you know, say you self get forget your own part where you for play, you self get forget your own role where you get for play. But we go come to that. But for now, just stay with me as we continue for talk with Evangelist Christian Chukwuka. Evangelist, I would like to hear, and I'm sure viewers would want to know, what do you exactly do in prison apart from sharing your testimony? And two, what are the testimonies you have from, you know, after you've shared your testimony in prison? Are there testimonies from inmates? Do you have stories of inmates who made, you know, powerful decisions for God?
Yes. I have to start by saying this. We have been to 226 prisons, and each and every prisons we go to, we don't only give them the gospel. We go there to preach gospel by sharing my testimony, telling them how I was transformed. But then we also look into the challenges. Some of them have medical issues, so we assist them. Some supposed to do surgery, especially, you know, this one with hernia is very common in prison. We do surgery for hernias. Women that are pregnant, we help them to give birth successfully, help them to take care of their babies in the prison. And then many drugs are needed. We get doctors, we go there, do medical outreaches in prison. And those that are and awaiting trial that have no lawyers, we get pro bono lawyers. Some of them we pay the lawyers to help them. And then the testimonies that I'm dumbfounding are many of my Muslim brothers and sisters that I met in the prison. They found Jesus Christ through my testimony, and we begin to work together. So when they come out, we unite, connected. We help them with the skill acquisition and then establishing business for them. Because if you don't establish them, recidivism is inevitable. Recidivism is when you fall back to crime. They will return back to crime if you can't help them. So we do everything we can to help them to be established in society, you know, getting them reinstalled back society without stigmatization. Because that thing called stigma makes so many of them useless. When you come out, nobody want to associate with you. They say this is a criminal that was 10 years, 20 years as a murderer in the prison. Nobody wants. But when we make them to be relevant in society, get them to get something doing, then this recidivism won't happen and the stigmatization won't happen. That's how we have been helping so many of them. And those that have babies and family outside, we find out where their family are. We assist them financially, otherwise. And then in the prison there, we don't enter any prison without giving them something to eat. Wow. That's the contact we establish with them. Because if you preach the gospel without giving them something to eat, it's like you came to mock the prisoners. So it's an outreach that costs massive. It costs a lot. But I thank God for my helpers and my partners all over the world.
226 prisons visited already.
Yes, sir.
In how many countries?
Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, and then 2 prisons in UK, and we're starting in Sierra Leone tomorrow.
Okay, so now my question.
Yes, sir.
You've seen prisons in Europe.
Yes, sir.
And in Africa. How are they different?
Oh, you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. Please, the difference is huge.
Wow.
It's huge. In my own place in Sweden, where we serve, you have your TV, you have your laptop, you have everything except internet connectivity, which what you don't have. But if you are studying, you're going out to go and study or work in the industry, they have access to all the connectivity and everything. But in Africa here, if you watch the circumstances, it wasn't easy. Based on my experience from my country, let me use Nigeria as a case study. You see a place where you have 800 prisons that have 800 capacity. They are harboring 5,900, some of them 3,800, some of them 2,000 something. So the congestion is very high and it causes a lot of diseases and many of them are suffering. It is absolute inhuman look when it comes to my country, what I've seen in Nigeria, and of course in some other part of African prison that I've been. The only place I have seen something a little bit calmer and looks okay was in South Africa. When I was in Pretoria prison, one of the biggest prisons in South Africa, I saw people being a little bit more like humanly treated. You know, so it hasn't been easy in Nigeria in particular, where I can tell you more, if time permits. It hasn't been easy for them at all.
I still have with me Evangelist Christian Chukwuka, the founder of Abounding Grace Foundation. He has been to prisons in Europe, prisons in Africa, namely South Africa, and other places, and he wants to do the same with Sierra Leone. Evangelist, let's talk Sierra Leone.
Yes, sir.
What are the plans for Sierra Leone?
Very clear. We want to visit the prisons, all the prisons. We've gotten the permission already. We are very grateful, and I thank my friend Mr. Magnus Dennis Clarkson, who took that permission. I wrote a letter, sent to him here in Sierra Leone, and he took the letter and went to the prison headquarters, submitted the letter, took all the documents, everything, criteria, all our achievements and so on, and presented to them, and it was overwhelming evidence. They said, no, we are welcome. They gave us approval, a letter of approval. So I'm here 2 days ago. Today we are going out now to do shopping, for we're going to the first prison in Sierra Leone. What's the name of that prison again? Pademba. That's that big one of 2,500 and something prisoners. So we are planning to bring bags of gari to them, because I heard that they need gari. We are buying sugar, bag of sugar, and then we are going to carry a lot of drink as well, so make sure that everybody have something to eat and drink, and then we will minister to them, show them love. Because I know many of us in the prison, we have committed the crime, but we're not supposed to die because we commit crime. We're supposed to do what? Corrected. That's why they call it correctional service, not a punishment service. So when we see them suffering, we share the suffering with them. That's the purpose of coming here, to share their suffering with me. I will just show them love and give them whatever we have.
Well, thank you very much. If you just join me, you watch Say It to Mercy TV, where they come to you Monday to Friday on Mercy TV channel 29, and I get with me the founder of Abounding Grace Foundation, Evangelist Christian Chukwuka. I will also go for a very short commercial break. When we come back, we will dive into more.
Mercy TV, broadcasting live from our studios in Freetown. Our broadcast stretches across the Mano River Union and surrounding areas, with unique quality and uplifting programs of hope, faith and love. Our strong emphasis are on home content, educational and inspirational dramas and more. We broadcast the gospel with signs and wonders, reflecting the will of God daily. Our audience also enjoys local, national and international news. With Mercy Media, your business is already a success.
Family, welcome back. If you just join me, you watch Say It to Mercy TV. I get with me the founder of Abounding Grace Foundation, Evangelist Christian Chukwuka. Evangelist, let's talk drugs.
Okay.
I know you're not from Sierra Leone,
yes,
but
sir.
a lot of Sierra Leoneans will tell you that a lot of our young people are being destroyed because of drugs.
Yes, sir.
So if I want you to send a message out there to help them understand how dangerous it is, and to also help parents understand how much they will suffer if their kids are, doing drugs.
Doing drugs. Yeah, there are so many things that drug can cause in our society. First of all, it starts ruining the one who is using the drug. It ruins you. And then when you eventually destroyed, you cause pain. Excruciating pain to your parents, your siblings, or if you finally get to prison because you are abusing drug or you are trafficking drug, you will cause massive trouble for your family, because the person who is in the prison is not the one suffering most. The ones suffering most are the loved ones. That's why we are creating awarenesses in schools, universities, like secondary schools. So we visit all these places to try to stop them from approaching this criminal lifestyle, because it's more, I found it diamond to stop them going to the prison, and I found it gold to pull them out of prison. So I prefer going for the diamond, that is stopping them from going to the prison, telling them the consequences of crime and its effect in our families and society, by telling them, especially this one called methamphetamine, what's the name again? Methamphetamine, something like that. Yeah, methamphetamine. That they call it ice in some country, like in Nigeria, in Igbo land, we call it miri. It's such a very deadly drugs. It could make somebody act inhuman. It could make you feel like a superhuman. You could if you just see somebody want to kill the person, you feel like you are Zorro or something, Superman, something like that. That drug is so dangerous. We are educating people on the street, in the schools, to stop using it, and telling them what that drug could cause in their life. So we are here in Sierra Leone. We are going to slums area. We're going to marketplaces. We have approached police yesterday, and they told me that I can be free to go to marketplaces and talk them to schools, to approach the youth and tell them the consequences of drugs. It is destructive in our society, and the only way we can have a clean society is to start to create awareness of these things, the consequences of abusing drugs, and also fighting its traffickers. This is a very dangerous scenario, very dangerous omen in our society. So we intend to help Sierra Leone to fight it. We intend to help Sierra Leone to get their youth in order. Then parents, they have to do their own part. What will parents do? Educate your children. I'm willing to come to your churches, whichever church, denomination. I don't care what denomination. I'm not a denomination person. I can come to your church, share my testimony, so that you will help the parents to know how to divert their children from that madness called drug abuse. So I'm willing to go anywhere, even in secondary school, universities. They didn't just tell me where they want me to come. I will be there to help our youth, because we need a better society.
Powerful. Evangelist, let's talk with regards financing this foundation. It's huge. What you're doing is huge. It's not just for your country. You're doing it all over Africa.
Yes, sir.
By your mandate that God gave you. How can there are a lot of people out there who can't go out like you, who can't go to these prisons like you, but they resonate with you. They feel the way you feel. They understand the pain, and they want to come on board and say, I would want to help in this and that way. How can they be a part?
Oh, thank God. That's a very wonderful question. After saying all these things, if we don't tell them about that, we have done a travesty of justice. We have an account in UK. We have a PayPal account, and we have also an account in Nigeria, and also we have a representative in Sierra Leone here that we can use the account to reach out to us. We need every support, even if it's $1, it matters, because $10 alone can set somebody free in the prison. So no amount is too small. We need a lot of money to be able to propagate this gospel and be able to save so many lives. But don't feel intimidated because of how much we are spending. Whatever you can use to support us is welcome. We need money. We need money for the work.
In Sierra Leone, who should we contact if we want to reach out?
We have my partner here, Mr. Magnus Dennis Clarkson. Can I tell you the number?
Yes.
His phone number is 077. Of course, if you are calling from outside, you say +32 +232. That's Sierra Leone. Then 077 24 2519. 077 242519. Then he will give you the details of the bank details where we can use to reach out to people in Sierra Leone here. But if you are contacting us from wherever in London or wherever, you can also use our Barclays account, which is Abounding Grace Foundation Barclays account. And then we have also, I can tell you that now. If you want to use our Barclays account in UK, the sort code is 209074. I repeat, 209074. That's the sort code. And then the account number itself is 136-16428. Account number is 136-16428. And of course, you have an IBAN number. If you need that, we can contact us and we'll send it to you. And we have Nigeria bank details, Zenith bank account. Zenith Abounding Grace Foundation is the name as well. The account number is 101-390-3492. Account number 101-390-3492. And if you want to reach me direct to my WhatsApp line, I have a UK line where you can reach me. That is +44 737 604 5293. +44 737 604 5293. That's my personal WhatsApp line. You can always send me, ask me for details of our Sierra Leone banking details or UK banking details, and I'll forward the details to you so that we can be able to reach out so many lives in Sierra Leone.
So you've heard it. Maybe you watch and you would like to be a part, you would like to support, because you appreciate so much how much God they use evangelists for reach out to prisons, because there are a lot of people in prisons where that you small money that you $1 million, you $1 or whatever you can give can make so much difference in their life. And so you can contact all of their numbers there where don't call, or you can reach out. The contact person at Salon, Mr. Magnus Clarkson, on the number 077242519 077242519. And again, Evangelist Dongi in direct line, not just for financial support, but if you want him to reach out to your school, you want him to reach out to your church, you want him to reach out to your community, you can contact him on his SAP line, or you can also contact Mr. Magnus Clarkson, and it can be arranged, because he is here to bless Sierra Leone with not just his testimony, but with also how much God has impacted in him for us to, for Sierra Leoneans to understand that God loves us so much. And so, not take him lightly. You can, come on board and, gather people around your community or your church, and, it will come. He is willing for come on board and for, talk with we and, share, within so much God don't lay in our heart. Evangelist, I'd like to draw your attention out to the church. The church in Sierra Leone is doing so well, and visions like this, don't you think the church should embrace it and walk alongside with visions like this?
I think you are right. The church needs to embrace this kind of testimonies, because it's very important that we preach Genesis to Revelation, but then it's very important that we manifest what God have done. The testimonies, we have to share them, because it has a potential to spark up, to stir up gift in someone. There are so many people in the church today that are helpless. They are carrying burden, they are carrying loads. They haven't seen anybody who will tell them that this load can be taken away. If I come to the church now, share my testimony, we see so many of them that will have like aha moment. So I can be transformed, I can be changed. God can forgive me my sins. All these killings, all these things I've done in the past, so I can be forgiven. Because I was a murderer. I was a criminal. He died on the cross for us, the sinners, not just for the righteous, but for the sinners. So if we can come to him, drop all the load on our shoulder and say, Lord, I lay it at the feet of Master. Please have mercy on me. Son of David, have mercy. If we can cry out to him. This is something that my Reverend Father, my personal father, Reverend David Obueli of Dominion City, what he has taught me personally. Consecration. Living a consecrated life comes from the testimonies that you share. When this testimony come in, people's life will be transformed and they will begin to align in consecration. And that consecrated life will change the whole society if we focus on it. So I am so willing to visit any church, irrespective of your denomination. I am willing to come to your church and share my testimony anytime, any day, anywhere.
Based on your experience, a lot of young people doing drugs. A lot of young people are, tending towards doing drugs and all sorts of these things. What can you advise, Sierra Leonean young people in Sierra Leone that would help them, stay away from drugs?
The best take is that we have to first of all start creating like a kind of sport activities. Like a kind of even if music, dancing competition, whatever we can do that can be able to pull them out of that thought. We must distract them from drug and crime by creating something exceptional, something that will pull them out of it. Then having opportunity to share a testimony like mine so that they will know the consequences of what they are heading into. That will help them a lot. Then youths in Sierra Leone, please hear this. It's so important, stay away from crime. It doesn't pay. You might become a millionaire today and you will die tomorrow. Others will move on. Because the crime, when I lose everything I had in crime, all the money I made in crime, $3.something million gone, everything, friends, everything gone. And you know what? My father heard that I was sentenced to serve 15 years and my father died. I came biological father. So what are you gaining in crime? It can only cause damages in your family, in the society. There's nothing to gain in it. And at the end, when you step into the prison, you're on your own. Because if you commit the crime, you do the time. We don't go to prison to bring out criminals. No, we don't do that. What we go there is to help criminals to stay away from crime. Then the help of God, you get your freedom. It's God that set people free, not me. But then those that are innocent, we help them to get a lawyer and help them to come out of the prison, because there are innocent people all over the world, even in UK, in US, there are innocent people inside the prison. So youth in Sierra Leone, please stay away from crime. It doesn't pay.
So are you saying, you've spoken of how you've helped, some other people in prison who, seemingly innocent or are innocent with, lawyers to do pro bono work and all these things.
Yes, sir.
Do you intend on doing the same in Sierra Leone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We intend to do the same thing because that's part of our mission, to help those that are on a waiting trial. Like in some places I've been in Nigeria, I've seen people that are on a waiting trial for 19 years. For 19 years.
19 years?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I have some of them 15 years, 20 years, 10 years that are on a waiting trial. So when we see such cases, we dive into it, try to raise money and help them out. And some cases could be murder case. Then we push the case to go to court so that they can sentence the person. Then you will know. And sometimes when the sentence comes, the person find out that he has only 10 years to spend, but he has been there for 20 years. So he has wasted 10 years. So it's part of the reason why Abounding Grace Foundation was created, to fight for these things, help these innocent people to regain their freedom. But just know, not everybody are innocent, of course. There are some people that committed crime, and if they have overstayed the time they ought to be in the prison, we also help them to regain their freedom, especially mothers with children in the prison.
In case you just join with Fambul, I will let you know, say Yusuf gets an opportunity for watch this full episode back on the net 9 p.m. because we do a repeat. And as I've been on, they say I get with me the founder of Abounding Grace Foundation, Evangelist Christian Chukwuka, and he don't talk to we concerning in testimony, he don't talk to we concerning waiting Abounding Grace one for Duna Salon, they come for Duna Sierra Leone, and he don't tell you so much more. Evangelist, I would like to ask another question. Is this a one-time thing, or is Sierra Leone going to be, a place where we would always have Abounding Grace around?
You can't do one-time thing when it comes to ministry. The Bible says, Apostle Paul sowed the seed, Apollos watered the seed, and God bring increase. When you sow this seed, there must be watering, and I have to be coming to repeat these things over and over again. And if it's possible, we establish Abounding Grace Foundation here in Sierra Leone that will help us to frequently visit Sierra Leone. Like I said, anyway, like we don't have, I don't need visa to come to the country. I use European passport and I use Nigerian passport, so we are in West Africa. I can always fly in, even when a church need me, I can always fly in and do what we have to do, as long as it's about transforming life. If it's about transforming the youths and touching people's life, I am willing at any time. Even if you wake me up 12 midnight, I'll be ready to preach the gospel. Because that's what I was created to do, but I didn't know it on time. That's why I end up in prison, because I did not discover the purpose on time.
So rest assured that we're going to have Abounding Grace
Oh,
here, even with you away. We can just continue to contact Mr. Magnus Clarkson on 077242519, or we can check on your WhatsApp number.
Yeah, on my UK WhatsApp number.
Can you go over the number again?
Okay, my UK WhatsApp number is +44 737 604 5293. +44. Do you want me to write it? Okay. My UK line is +44 737 604 5293. Yeah, I repeat. My UK line is +44 737 604 5293. That's my UK line.
So that's it. We don't get time, so you can contact them. And I want let we take advantage of this. The church in Sierra Leone, let's take advantage of his time here in Sierra Leone. You can learn so much from his testimonies. Your church can learn so much. The youths in your church can learn so much. So much Sierra Leoneans can be able to be transformed based on his testimony, because God has given him so much and he's here to share all of that. Maybe this is a question a lot of people would want to know. Yes. They would want to invite you to the churches, they want to invite you to the schools, people want to invite you to the communities, and they would like to know if should we pay for him to come, or would he love to come to the church for free, or must we pay for him since he's now in Sierra Leone?
Oh, no. We don't. This is gospel. They say freely you receive and freely you give. You don't pay for gospel to be preached. No, just only give us a date and find out how we come. If I am outside the country, your duty is to facilitate my flight ticket here. That's all you need to do. You don't need to pay for gospel. I don't solicit for that, and I will never solicit for such thing. Actually, this is exactly what Jesus Christ did not. I didn't pay Jesus Christ to set me free. Don't forget that. He left his throne, his majesty, and came down here and died for me, and paid ultimate price for me to exist. So I am willing to do exactly what he did for me. I will pay with my life for people to be saved. That's just the truth, sir and ma. And please, I don't want to forget this. I want to appreciate my Reverend Father, Reverend David Obueli, for bringing me thus far. He has really helped me to be able to get to this point I am today. He has really done. I mean, that's the General Overseer of Dominion City, Reverend David Obueli. That's my spiritual father. He has mentored me. He's the one that taught me a lot. I know about evangelistic ministry. Thank you so much. Okay,
so you get it. It's free. You don't have to pay to get him to your church. Now that he's in Sierra Leone, you can just contact him or contact the person in charge, and he will come to your church, he will come to your community. He would love to come to your church, he would love to come to your school, he would love to come to your university, he would love to come to your community to share his testimony. He is not ashamed to share. In fact, the reason he is in Sierra Leone is because he wants to share his testimony to a lot of people, so that a lot of lives will be saved, a lot of lives will be transformed, and our salon will be better. Yes. Remember, so when they come towards elections, we not go want people and for dip and drugs, we go want a lot of people for be drug free. We're slowly coming to the end of this session. I read in the vision says to transform, rehabilitate prisoners for effective reintegration back into society. So you're mentioning 3 R's.
Yes.
Can you walk us through the 3 R's quickly?
That transformation, the journey of it starts from the prison. We go there to minister to them who saves. Like the gospel that I tell you we are preaching is, I was once blind, now I can see. Who made me see? I point everyone to that same personality that made me to see, which is Jesus Christ. Once we get them to understand this thing, then we start giving them skills inside the prison. We start training them. Either you are doing barbing, or you are doing carpentry work, or you are just anything at all you can lay hand to train in the prison. Once you came out from the prison, then the rehabilitation starts. We begin to walk you through all this so you don't fall back to crime again.
So you rehabilitate.
Yes.
You
reform.
reform.
Yes.
You reintegrate into society. The reintegration process, how does it look like?
It's just you getting them to have something doing so they can fit in again. You must get them something to do, and sometimes we have to find a place where they will stay. We have so many of them that we pay the accommodation depending on the funds available for us. Some of them that have family, we try to get their family together again, and then those that have issue with anger, we work with them on the anger management, conflict resolutions. If they are there for violence, crime, we try to work with them with the conflict resolutions. We have every arms that train in all these aspects, you know, and then get a place where they can stay and find any job for them to be doing.
I wanted to ask, I wanted to go back to the issue of, you know, people supporting, especially with regards to integration and all. But I just want to ask, how has it been getting people to accept ex-prisoners back into society? You know, with us in Sierra Leone, there's this aspect of stigmatization.
Yes, sir.
Where people say, he's a prisoner, he's a criminal. It's something that sticks with you forever.
Yes, sir.
And you've been through that.
Yes, sir.
And so how do you get people to accept ex-prisoners back into society, back into the family, you know?
First of all, we create awareness for the ex-convicts coming out that you're going to face this. This is how you handle it. Ignore it. Don't be offended, because it's normal. It's natural. People will react. Then that area is done. Then we have to educate people in our society that this person is a changed person by bringing them to I used to take them on my social media handle, like on my Facebook, on my YouTube, and then I do a live show, address the matters concerning the person's life, talk about his transformation in prison, how he gave his life to Christ and everything. They will share their personal testimonies. That alone can now, you have a spirit of Lord in you. You will be convinced if this person is changed or not. We try to bring them out on social media to speak, because with their testimonies, you will know if they are changed or not. In so doing, we are making society to be aware that everybody inside prison are not criminals. Some of them are there because they were reckless drivers and they kill somebody. They end up in life sentence or maybe manslaughter. That doesn't mean that they are criminals. It's a mistake. So we try to differentiate criminalities and people that are victim of circumstances. You know.
I don't know if you would want this question, but I
No,
really
please.
would like to ask this question.
Free, please.
You have a wife.
Yes, sir.
You have kids.
Yes, sir.
And you're touring Africa without them. How were you able to help them to understand that this is what I'm supposed to do? This is the mandate God has given me. I'll leave you people and I'll be away from you people for this, you know, this amount of time.
I've been away from my children for 9 years. It's horrible.
9 years?
9 years is horrible. But you know what? I travel to Europe just only once in a year because I can't afford frequently traveling there for them. The gospel is very important. Very important. We can't afford to say because of my children, my wife, or my husband, we miss the weightier matter. The Bible said, except you forsake crime, you forsake your life, your husband, your wife, your children. If you can't forsake these things, you cannot be my disciple. So I had to abandon them in order to be a disciple, a child of God, to be honest with you. I had to let go all these things. It wasn't that funny, but it's principle. It's a biblical principle that we must follow. You will forsake your wife, your husband, your children, your money, your business, your career, your ministry even. Just focus on him who called you. That's how we could be able to do these things. And I know my children sometimes they say, Dad, when are you coming back home? I say, honey, this is how it is. I have to do this. And then we communicate often on video calls, WhatsApp, and so on, so that we still feel that love and closeness. But we cannot emphasize on this enough. We must abandon all that matters to us, or else we lose all that matters to us.
After Sierra Leone, where next?
Liberia and Gambia.
Wow, this year.
This year. As long as there's fund, we will even go beyond.
So let's go back to the issue of as long as there's fund. You know, a lot of people would also say, okay, we've heard you and your testimony is powerful and we want to support, but we're thinking that what we have is too small, and so maybe you won't accept, you know, our little.
No. See, nothing is too small for this ministry. Can I tell you something? In my country, we have a place where only $3 save a life. There are some prisoners that are in the prison in Nigeria. I have the videos, evidence of them are on my YouTube and on my social media, on my Facebook, where $3 pay the bills for prisoners. People that have been inside prison, only $3.
Yeah.
So I don't think any amount is too small. Nothing. And we appreciate every single penny. That's it good because, okay, sir, imagine it. If 1 million people give you one dollar, do you know how much it is? Is it not $1 million?
$1 million.
Just bring that your $1. Let's get 1 million people. You see that we can transform life in Africa. So no amount is small. We are so grateful of every penny given to Abounding Grace Foundation, sir.
So if you're in Sierra Leone, again, if you're in Sierra Leone and you want to, be a part, you want to donate, you want to, give that your little, you can contact Mr. Magnus Clarkson on 077-242-519, 077-242-519. And if you're outside of Sierra Leone, the UK bank is Abounding Grace Foundation. It's a Barclays Bank account, and the sort code is 209074 209074, and you'll be able to donate. It's a worthy venture. The account number is also 136-16428. 136-16428. It's a Barclays Bank account number. Also, I would like people to know your social media handles, your Facebook, your YouTube, so that the more they see some of these stories, the more they understand what's happening.
Okay, if you just type at Prisoner Voice, at Prisoner, not Prisoners, at Prisoner Voice, you will get to our YouTube. Yeah, and if you type at Prisoner Voice 1 in digit 1, you will get to our Facebook handle. Or if you type in general Abounding Grace Foundation, it will pop up. Our website is aboundinggracefoundation.com. Our YouTube, Facebook, everywhere you type Abounding Grace Foundation, all will pop up, and you can join us, you can follow us. Our handle on Facebook is about 74,000 followers, so be the next follower, please.
Be the next follower. So I'll go over it again. On Instagram is at Prisoner Voice, Facebook at Prisoner Voice 1, Twitter at Prisoner Voice 2, YouTube at Prisoner Voice. So Instagram and YouTube, it's the same, at Prisoner Voice, and you'll be able to see some of this beautiful story. And as he just said, be the next follower. I'm personally, I'm going to be the next follower, and so I'm way ahead of you. So well, maybe you're doing it now, so probably you go ahead. But I feel like we should be part of what is happening, and so let's key in, let's join and let's follow. We're now to the end. What would be your very last statement or advice to Sierra Leoneans and people watching?
My advice is that everyone, my advice now is everyone in Sierra Leone, my advice here now is everyone in Sierra Leone, please key into what we are saying, what we are doing. We want to come to your schools. Talk to your school directors. Say that we are willing to come. Gather the youths. One day, 2 hours is enough for us to impact your life. We tell you our testimonies. Don't be shy. Don't condemn yourself anymore. Those things, those mistakes you made in the past, I have made them all. Everyone you see today, called pastors or ministers, many of us have made mistakes. It's the mistake that activates your ministry. From the mess of your past, that's where you get your message today. So the message you're hearing me preach today is from my past mess. Don't be ashamed. Just tell us how we can help you. Contact us, and we will advise you on how to get out of that your Kadesh Barnea, that your wilderness experience. We are very willing to visit you where you are. Even if it's your family challenge you have in mommy, daddy, pick up your phone, call. I will advise on the phone. I will talk to your son that is not listening to you, and they will begin to listen to you, because there's nothing that prayer cannot do.
Thank you very much. One more question before we end. How long would you be staying in Sierra Leone?
I have only 10 days right now, but if a need to extend my ticket is, we will extend it.
10 days. Take
10
advantage.
days. So I'm leaving on 26th of this month.
Take advantage of it. 10 days. Take advantage of these 10 days. Okay, if you've been on the watch me, I've been get with me. Evangelist Christian Chukwuka, where and the founder of Abounding Grace Foundation. He is a man that has gone through slavery, a man that has gone through prison, a man that is now transformed and also transforming life for Jesus Christ. And so be a part of what he's doing by clicking on that your Instagram page or your Facebook or your Twitter or WhatsApp or YouTube, and just enjoy what he's been doing and see how best you can also be a part of this thing. Trust me, it's something that you should be a part of, because God is so pleased with what he's doing. My name is Pastor Samuel Johnson, and until we meet back tomorrow, I want to say God bless you and God bless Sierra Leone.